Honda Power Clear, I think it's a 2450 as well, replacing the starter rope that broke. Took it apart from here, but bolt there, or screw there, Phillips there, Phillips there, Phillips there. Those are a little rusted using impact. Then the shroud. This came out 1, 2, 3 screws. There's a fourth one down there that holds this together. So take that off. And the gas tank was in there. There was a clip right on the back side there. Just take that clip out and just take it out of the way. There's the recoil. You can see the rope holes right here. So the problem is that these bolts spin. You can see it spins. So the nut on the inside is not attached, so that spins, and there's no way to grab it in there. So at this point, I'm going to take off this. Try to. There's a bolt here. There's a bolt there. There's a ground attached to that. So 1, 2, 3, 3. There's one way down here. I'm not sure I'm going to get that, so we'll see. And of course the bolts are different sizes. This one is that's an 11. Spins at this point. This bottom one, which I'm about to take out, that's a 13. No. We got a 10. That's a 10. That's an 11. Those are 13s. Upside down, but there's that stupid bolt. I don't know how I'm going to get it in it. I don't want to melt the motor either. Sorry for the angle. I've got it balanced sideways on my body. I got a small short wrench here. I can just got it to turn a couple times. Just a terrible spot. Okay, change in plan. I don't know if that's going to work. Plus, I don't think there's space to pull that bolt out when I get it out. So instead, I'm going to try and loosen the motor. There's 1, 2, and 3. I can get the socket on these two. I'm going to have to take off that back shroud. So if you bolts drop that back, I should be able to get it from the back side. This is really just a real pain. So I got the shroud, the back shroud off. I can get to this bolt. Socket won't fit. I don't feel like taking off anything else, even though it's pretty much almost all apart anyway. So I got the bolt out. So far the engine hasn't moved, so I'm gonna see what happens. I can't hold the camera and do that. So actually, now that I look, I got that off. That's the bolt we got to get off. Right there. I still don't think there's going to be clearance to get it out without lifting the motor up. So 2 hands. Okay, that was dumb. So I got the bolts off there, but the freaking axle still runs through, so that's not going to move. So you can learn as you go. I'm still going to give this a shot. I can move it a little bit. So if and when I get this off, I'm going to notch this shroud so I can slide it on rather than having to take the whole bolt out. That's why it's such a pain. Oh, this got to come out. This is ridiculous. Okay, I need 2 hands here to push up. Okay, I got the bolt off. I'm not sure how I'm going to get it back in at this point, but I got it all right. Pried up. Moved a little bit. Alright, so now I'm getting those 4 bolts off here. You got to hold that side. Maybe take that one off or vice versa. And it's off. My rope is broken inside there. Get it out. So I pulled it tight. Now I just got to cut that knot and pull the old rope out. But what I'm going to do is get it lined up right here like that and stick my screwdriver in there so I know that's, we'll just feed it in. So I stuck a screwdriver in there so I can cut it and feed the new rope in without having to twist it. I know exactly where it should be. Lubricate these two. A little sticky. One-handed, pulling it out. Same thing there, I'm going to cut that off the handle. Okay, I'm using this white card because that's what I've got, and it seems to be pretty much the same. So actually worked pretty easy. Need 2 hands for the knot. There's my knot. Pull it tight. So knot's in. So I'm going to let this coil go. The other end isn't through the handle yet, partly because I need to kind of measure from where this attaches to the engine out to the cord. But I will probably temporarily knot it just so I don't accidentally lose it. So just in case, I put it through there, just put it on like this temporarily just so anything happens I won't have to start over again. So it pretty much stopped with about 2 feet left. So actually that's probably going to work pretty good. Actually, it looks like it's lubricated pretty well already, but apparently these little fins should snap out. And they are. Works good. Yeah, I was going to put some lithium grease, but I lost my top. I don't know where it is. So I'm going to put in some blaster. Now, there should be a spring. I think it's in there. Okay. Now I'm going to grind out that hole for that bolt. I could have used a grinder, but I'm just using an oscillating tool. It goes right through that. Done. And by the way, it's much nicer working in your warm basement than a freezing cold garage this time of year. Be sure to empty your gas tank if you're bringing it downstairs though, or in the house. So now I'm going to put this back on. And by the way, I apologize for video quality and if weird angles and stuff. I'm not a professional, first video I've done, so hopefully this is helpful though. This part's kind of a pain in the butt. Got to hold one side and there's no way to prop this up, so it's hard for me to show you, but you got to hold the nut on that side and do the other side. You got 3 on. I've been using a ratchet and a flat wrench. You could probably be easier if I use a vice grip and just gripped it there. I wouldn't have to hold it so tight. Okay, all in. Seems to be working well. Now to try and put this thing back on. And by the way, now is probably a good time for me to give this carburetor at least a attempt at a clean. Since I got this back shroud off, I can see it. It's working fine, but... Okay, as I suspected, this is not cooperating with the space down here to put that bolt back in, it just hits. It hits in there and I can't fit it. I tried prying this up and get a little space, but just not enough. So what I did, I'm not going to love it. I took, where's the other one? Okay. So I took the bolt because it was just too long to fit in that spot. So I took my grinder and I ground it down. Got about half. Hopefully that's going to be enough. Of course, that messed up the threads. So then I found another nut that fits. Put it in here. Put my drill on it. Back and forth, back and forth. I got it in. And it should be threading properly now. So now I'm going to give that a try below. See if I can. Okay, the plan. That's the short one now versus the long one. The plan is to pry that up a little bit, create some more space and get that screw in the hole. I'm going to try and do that now. So it's been pretty hard. I've been trying to wedge it with one hand and twist with the other, so I was able to pry it up. Now I wedged a hammer in there, and that's the most space I can see yet, so drop the nut. Okay, give this a try. You can't see, but I can't see either. You see what I'm trying to do here. Success. I was able to use finger from this side and my other hand using two hands and get it in, and now I can get the wrench on it and it's going in. So there may be a different way to do this. Might be more involved, might not be. It's still threaded, yep. To move this engine out, but it looks way more involved. This is a pain in the butt, but it's working. So I'm gonna do this with one hand. Two hands required. Okay, and success. Now I gotta tighten that down a little bit. There's no reason that that bolt has to be that long. Tight. Now you can see right here. You can see I've got it slotted. You see that slot, so I slid it right in there. If I ever take it out again, I can slide it out and don't have to. Well, I still got to mess with prying it up like that, but at least it'll come out. So now I gotta put things back. I still gotta put those 3 bolts back in here. which I did not need to take out because moving this actually that's tight there, so I don't know, I still don't think I need to take them out, so I'm putting these back in now. And by the way, there are 4 bolts back there. I took out 3 and stopped because I could see the shaft going in there. Now there may be other ways to do this. This is just the way that I did it. Maybe by taking the 4 bolts out, that would release more pressure, but it is difficult to get the socket in there for sure. The other side's even harder, so this is just what I did. This thing is just not meant to be worked on, so I'm having trouble getting this one back in, so I'm going ahead and I've taken this off to get better leverage, access to this bolt, because it's not lining up right. Okay, that got it. I had to loosen all the bolts again to make sure that everything was loose enough for the rest to go straight. I guess I should probably clean that out too, right? Okay, I open the window because I am inside. I got it draining into rags, and I take those outside immediately, so I got a little bit better. I don't think it's critical if this is spick and span. I used some brake cleaner in there. Let it sit, brushed it. That's all really hard. Since it was there, I did carb too. I did brake cleaner on the outside. I did carb cleaner on the inside. This actually looks pretty clean. I might have to use some starting fluid if got some junk in there. So I'll finish putting this back on now. Okay, it's all back on. That bolt's on. These are on and tightened. I think it's just the back cover now. Next. Okay, I thought about changing the spark plug, but I don't have a spare one at this moment, so I'm not going to do it right now. You don't have to take out 5,000 bolts for that, so we can always do that. Okay, I'm going to try and put everything back together here on the top. Okay, it's back on. There's just one bolt down there. There's no bolts in the bottom of this. Put the brackets back on, make sure you run the cables back through. It's tight, but that's the way it is. Keys in, ropes back through here. Okay, just got the top shroud, cable. Okay, before I finally put it all back together, I just got the rope here and I gave it some pulls, and it does when I kick, so everything seems to be working right. I will tighten up the cord and put the rest of the screws in. Okay, all back together. No missing pieces, so that's good. Everything seems to be working correctly. I'll give it a pull if I can with one hand. Okay, it's going to want to go. So hopefully this helped. First video, so sorry about the quality, and if you liked the video, give it a like. I'd appreciate it. Thanks. Oh yeah, and one last thing. I did notice I wasn't operating this, and I haven't operated in a while when this happened, but this hole doesn't seem right. Maybe that's why the cord got frayed. I feel like there's something missing in there. I'll have to look for an older model and see if what's there, but I'll keep an eye on that. But just in case one of you guys noticed that, I did too. Okay, thanks.